Welcome to CINEPRO, where we bring your favorite movies back to life with quick recaps, hidden details, and everything you missed. Our movie Monster Party starts with three friends, Casper, Doug, and their friend Ars. They're a close group, and currently they're preparing to rob a rich man's house. They go to the house, and Ars stays outside to keep watch, while Casper and Doug go inside. Casper disables the alarm with his device. Then Doug unlocks the door, and they both go inside to steal anything they can find. But at that moment, the owner of the house and his wife return. Ars quickly rings the doorbell to warn them. She then pretends to be a representative from an advertising company and keeps talking to the couple for a long time, giving Casper and Doug enough time to escape from the house. Everything goes smoothly, and the theft is successful. Later, they're together planning their next heist. We learn that Ars works as a hostess at private parties, and this time she'll be working at a fancy palace by the sea. But Casper refuses when he hears that the palace is heavily guarded with strict security. When Casper gets home, he finds his father missing and the house in complete disarray. He realizes his father has been kidnapped by a man named Emery, who is involved in shady business. Casper's father had borrowed a lot of money from Emery with interest and failed to pay it back. Casper rushes to Emery's nightclub. When he tries to enter, the guard stops him, but once he says his father is inside, the guard lets him in. The shock is that Emery is beating and torturing his father. When Casper asks why, Emery explains that his father lost all the borrowed money and failed to pay it back on time. Emery threatens to kill Casper's father, but Casper begs him not to and promises to bring the money. To show he's serious, Emery chops off one of his father's fingers as a threat, so Casper will take things seriously and pay the debt. Casper then goes to his friends and tells them he's agreed to rob the palace. Ars is hesitant because the palace owners are very dangerous, and they need at least 2 weeks to plan the heist. Casper insists they have to do it to save his father's life and asks Ars and Doug to help him. In the end, they agree to help their friend. The next day, the group goes to the palace and introduces themselves to Madame Roxanne, the owner, as Ars's colleagues, there to help serve guests at the party. Roxanne is suspicious of Casper and Doug's appearance, so she takes their phones and tells them to change clothes with her daughter Alex. Alex takes them to her brother Elliot's room. When Elliot sees Doug, he mocks and insults him, which upsets Doug, but Elliot claims he's just joking, so things calm down. Iris was with Roxanne in the kitchen and noticed that Roxanne was upset, so she asked her about the reason. Roxanne told her that she wanted a party today to pass without any problems. Patrick, Roxanne's husband, arrived. Roxanne looks very sad when she sees her husband Patrick, and before Patrick leaves, he asks about Mickey. Roxanne says Mickey is in the basement and is fun. Ars asks Roxanne about Mickey, and she explains that Mickey is their dog. After a while, the guests start arriving at the palace, and Roxanne welcomes them and gathers them around the table. Meanwhile, Doug and Ars are talking together. Doug goes upstairs with the drink he ordered, and on his way back, he discovers the control room, which monitors the entire palace with cameras and controls everything. He tells Casper and Ars in the kitchen that he found the control room, so they decide they need to cut the power and disable the cameras as part of their plan. After that, they rush to the safe, whom Casper realized were in Patrick's bedroom. Then we go to Patrick and his guest. Here we learn that these guests are the group leader Milo and his gang. Patrick, his wife, son, daughter, and all the guests are a group of addicts, and Milo is their leader. After that, each one introduces themselves and says they're an addict, and that they're gathered today to celebrate recovery from this addiction. Patrick stands up first and tells everyone that he quit his addiction, and it's been 3 years and 4 weeks since the last time. Here, Becca gets annoyed by all this talk, excuses herself from the table, and goes to the kitchen. There, Grace asks if she needs anything, but Becca says thank you, she doesn't need anything. At this time, Casper and Doug take advantage of the fact that the hosts and their guests are at the table, and go to the control room. There they discover that if they enter the wrong safe code 3 times, the alarm will go off throughout the mansion. So they agree that Doug will stay in the control room and cut the power for 2 minutes. During this time, Casper will try to open the safe. After the 2 minutes, the electricity will come back, and then Doug will cut it again. Without wasting time, they immediately start their plan. Doug cuts the power, but suddenly hears someone outside the room. He goes out to see who it is, and finds Elliot in front of him, who asks what he's doing in the control room. Doug says he was looking for the bathroom, and entered the wrong room by mistake. Elliot takes him to show him the bathroom, but locks the door and starts insulting him. Doug tries to leave the bathroom to get away from this situation, but Elliot blocks him and insists on seeing his hand. When Doug refuses, Elliot gets very angry and literally cuts his hand with a razor. Then he grabs Doug, puts him in the bathtub, and finishes him off in a very brutal way. Because Doug didn't cut the power, the alarm goes off throughout the mansion, since Casper entered the wrong code 3 times. Here, Patrick realizes someone is trying to open the safe. He heads to the control room to check the surveillance camera recordings and sees Doug going to the bathroom with Elliot. He goes straight there and is shocked to find Elliot covered in Doug's blood after killing him. These people are addicted to killing. All the guests come after hearing Roxanne screaming. When Grace arrives, she finds Elliot clapping in front of her with Doug's severed hand. She gets very disturbed, rushes to the bathroom, and collapses when she sees Doug dead in a horrific way. She tries to escape, but the guests catch her. However, Grace fights back hard, causing Elliot to fall down the stairs and die. Grace runs to hide in the kitchen, where she sees that Becca has ended her own life due to her suffering with Milo. Then Cameron arrives in the kitchen, so Grace grabs a knife and stabs him in the face. But Jeremy hits her and the knife falls to the floor. Grace hits Cameron with a bottle on the head, knocks him down, and hides in a room, locking the door behind her terrified. As for Casper, when he heard Grace screaming, he left the safe room, but Patrick caught him and tried to kill him. But Milo intervened and stopped Patrick at the last moment. As soon as Patrick lets go of Casper, Casper escapes and hides in another room. Meanwhile, Milo scolds Patrick for giving in to his urge to kill so easily, and tells him to control himself, or else he'll be punished severely. It seems Patrick doesn't like Milo because he belittles him in front of his wife and daughter, but Patrick agrees with him and can't object. The important thing is, Milo talks to Roxanne and tells her to keep an eye on her son and husband, and asks Alex to go to Grace and protect her from Cameron and Jeremy. Meanwhile, Milo himself goes to the room where Casper is hiding to talk to him. As for Casper, he's searching the room for anything to defend himself with, and finds Patrick's gun in a desk drawer. Then he hears Milo's voice saying he wants to talk to him. Milo blames Casper for Doug's death, and says he's very sad about what happened because he wanted his group to recover from their addiction to killing. But the truth is, nothing has changed. Casper asks Milo to let him and Grace leave the mansion, but Milo says, "What guarantee do I have that you won't go to the police once you're out?" Casper says, "If you give us $100,000, we won't go to the police. And if we tried to trick you, you'd be able to find us and get rid of us." Strangely, Milo likes the idea and agrees. He asks Casper to stay in the room until he returns. Patrick sees Milo and asks him what he's doing. Milo replies, "I just want to calm Casper down so he'll come out of the room. Then we'll give him and Grace a strong dose of sedatives and let them leave the mansion. After that, I reported them to the police." At that time, even if they told the police their version, the police wouldn't believe them because they would be under the influence of illegal substances and would be arrested and imprisoned. That way, we'd be rid of them. But officially, Casper appeared and pulled a gun on all of them, forcing them all to come down with us to the basement. At that moment, Eris broke under the pressure and found Jeremy and Cameron trying to break down the door to finish her off. She stopped them and told them that Milo had sent her specifically to protect Eris from them. It was clear that Cameron and Jeremy didn't like this, but they had to leave because they knew Milo might punish them. After that, Alex told Eris that she wouldn't hurt her and would help her escape. So Iris reassures her and opens the door, but Cameron and Jeremy are watching. Alex opens the door of the palace for Iris to escape, so they run towards them quickly, and Jeremy grabs Alex tightly to prevent her from helping Iris, while Cameron is swooping on Iris, wanting to finish her off. At that moment, Casper came down with Anli, and Milo lost his mind and his temper when he saw Jeremy trying to kill Eris. He ran at him, grabbed his face, and literally ripped off his skin. Then he smashed his head with a stick until he finished him off. At that point, Ilo took advantage of the opportunity and attacked Casper, causing him to drop the gun to the ground. Patrick grabbed the gun and shot Milo, finishing him off. At that time, Alex was able to help Casper and Eris escape, taking them to a secret room in the palace. That room contained a large number of girls' body parts. When Eris saw this, she was very scared, while Casper saw pictures of Patrick's family, and there was a completely deformed person there. Then Casper noticed a sword hanging on the wall, so he took it to defend himself. At that moment, Patrick spoke through the loudspeakers, asking Alex to leave Casper and Eris and get out of the room, but Alex refused to listen to Patrick. Suddenly, without warning, strange music started playing from the speakers, and we learned that this music triggered the rage of Mickey, who was locked in the room next to Alex. Here we discover that Mickey is not a dog as Roxanne said before. He is one of Patrick's sons, but completely deformed and mentally ill. Over time, Patrick turned him into a monster that literally eats people. As the music reached its peak, Mickey broke down the door and attacked Eris, eating her in a horrific way. But Casper struck Mickey with the sword, scattering his brains everywhere, and finally getting rid of him. After that, Casper left the room with Alex, and found Patrick in front of them, holding an axe, attacking Casper and trying to finish him off. But Casper moved faster and stabbed him in the stomach with the sword, literally spilling all his gut. Then Alex and Casper left the palace, but Jeremy quickly appeared, holding an electric saw and attacked Casper to finish him off. Casper fell to the ground, but managed to slice Jeremy's legs with the sword, causing the saw to fly into the air. He then attacked Jeremy, literally smashing his body. Suddenly, Ilo came from behind Casper, hit him with a stick, and knocked him unconscious. When Casper regained consciousness, he discovered that he and Alex were each tied to a chair by the pool, each with a rope, and Alo had tied them together. Alo stood in front of them and told them that one of them had to cut the rope, so the other would fall into the water and drown. He told them they had 30 seconds, and whoever cut the rope first would survive. Then he stood back, enjoying what was happening. Casper tried to stop Alex from cutting the rope, but Alex was too scared, and ignored him, cutting the rope so Casper fell into the pool. But then we discover that Alo cut Alex's rope too, so she also fell into the water, and both she and Casper tried to find a way to save themselves from drowning. At that point, Roxanne appeared and stabbed Alo with a sharp object, causing him to fall into the water as well. Roxanne then helped Casper and Alex get out of the water, before they drowned. Roxanne asked Casper what he wanted as compensation for what happened, and he told her he wanted 1,000. Suddenly, Ilo emerged from the water and attacked him, but Alex stabbed him in the neck and finished him off. After that we see Casper driving the car until nightfall with the money, holding his sword and attacking anyone who stood in his way, finishing them off. Then he entered Emery's room and killed him with the sword as well. In the end, Casper threw the sword in front of his father on the ground, meaning that all this happened because of him. And that's it. The movie ends here. If you liked today's video, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to receive all new updates. See you in the next video.